Hello everybody, good morning soul family. I hope that everything is going well. I know that times have been pretty difficult, to say the very least, for everyone, externally and internally. I just want you to know that you have my support, and I'm always wishing you guys the greatest, always wishing the best for everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me today. I'm going to try to make this reading a short one today. Thank you again for being here. Disclaimers are in the description box, along with my Instagram if you'd like to get to know me a little bit more or to book a private reading. Thank you again for being here. Today I will be using the Occult Tarot, and we're going to be asking for what is the message that we need to hear today? What do we need to be aware of today? The page. What do we need to be aware of today? I kind of feel like these want to be... Do they want to be together? I'm going to pull those together. Let's see. Alright, so we have quite a bit of cards for this last row. Okay. The very first card that we have is the World in reverse. This entity's name is Vapula. Number 60. Makes one skilled in labor and crafts, increases knowledge of philosophy and science. The World was in reverse, and the World is the first card that came out. So this is significant. This shows that the World in reverse is the significant card. Significator. Excuse me. There needs to be ends to cycles that have been going on for a long time. Now is the time of all times to start something new. To go out there and really it's not really a sense of going out there, of course, because everything that's going on in this world right now, I'm actually sensing this is more of like your internal world. And I feel like it may be revolving around love as well. 6 is the number of love, reciprocity, and actually for this entity's sigil, we see that it has a heart as well. It's a very symmetrical sigil as well, and as I stated, 6 is a number of balance. So it's very interesting to see that. Perhaps there's an ending to a cycle that you have been feeling with someone, and I feel like this ending is bringing a new beginning. We have the Wheel of Fortune, Valak. 62 tells where treasures are hidden, reveals hidden dangers. Kind of going back to this one where it says makes one skilled in labor and crafts, increases knowledge of philosophy and science. That's going back to what I was saying about going within the internal world, working on what it is that you want for yourself. What is it that your heart tells you to do? And the Wheel of Fortune is saying to go for it. Once you end a cycle of stagnation, a cycle of, really fighting yourself about your own purpose, if you have an inclination of what it is that you are here to be doing, what it is that your heart tells you to do, what it is that really just fuels the passion within you, then it is time to take the wheel of your own life and to go for it. Go for it without looking back, is what I'm getting. When we ask ourselves these questions, the answers don't always come to us so quickly. Sometimes we have to backtrack in our mind a little bit and think about what are the things that I have been wanting to do since childhood. What are the things that throughout my entire life have been consistent? What is the consistency in my life? And I would say perhaps it is something revolving around creativity, something revolving around philosophy and science, perhaps. This to me is really saying to go out there and go for it and not let anything hold you back, not even yourself. We need to get out of our own head. And just these two cards have a lot of wings. This feline has wings. This dragon has wings. This entity has wings. So what I'm seeing with that is really, it's time to soar. It's time to spread your wings and fly. It's time to go in the direction, propel forward in what it is that you want. And don't give a fuck about what other people think or what you think that they want you to do or what they tell you that you need to be doing in your life. What you should be focusing on is yourself, and not in a selfish way, but in a way to progress in your life where you are following your truth and you're following your heart. Spread your wings and fly. I feel like there may be things that you desire, that you really want, that you struggle to believe in yourself, is the sense that I'm getting. And I feel like that is definitely something here about the World card in reverse that I feel is a need to believe in yourself, a need to change that perspective from, the world is closed off and I can't do anything, to change your perspective to what is it that I want to be doing and what is it that I can do now in order to reach that in the future, when the world starts opening up or when things become a little bit easier. We need to start planting the seeds now. Excuse me. We need to start planting the seeds now in order for us to even start watering them and taking care of them. I'm sorry, I need some water. Excuse me. Excuse me, my throat is so dry right now. Perhaps it's something with communication as well. Now is the best time, with everything going on, despite all of the negativity going on, there is a lot of positivity that is being brought to the light. And we should be focusing on the things that help us remain positive. And I'm not talking about toxic positivity. I'm not talking about being so positive to the sense of becoming blind to the reality that is going on among us. Yes, we are spiritual beings living a human experience, and that's the point. We are living a human experience. We are here in the 3D world amongst each other, all trying to live our life and live through our experiences, and the goal of it all is to come to a place where we are one with ourselves, where we become one with our highest self. We keep reincarnating, right? If you believe in reincarnation. Personally, I do. But getting back to the point here, it's time to start putting into place laying the foundation for the things that you want. Now is the best time, because now is the time where most people are stuck indoors, and most people, we are struggling in so many different ways, not only as a society, but in our own personal lives, with our families and our relationships, our friendships. Relationships don't have to be romantic, but they can be. Now is the time to really go within and figure out what it is that you want to do and how you plan to make that come into fruition. With the Three of Wands here, forgive me if I'm pronouncing this entity's name incorrectly. Voile. The Three of Wands, number 47, procures the love of women, tells of things past, present, and future, builds love between friends and enemies. And I notice here it says wall. I'm guessing that is the way to pronounce the name, such as this one as well. But I'm seeing literally the word wall. So what I'm feeling here is, again, there's a sense of love involved. I do feel a sense of needing to heal from that, and needing to release or to let down our guard to some extent. If we want to allow love into our life, we need to have our walls down to some degree. We need to, if we want to allow love into our heart, we have to have an open heart to begin with. Because if we have a wall around our heart, we're only going to be repelling whatever is trying to come towards us, because we're going to have a hard time seeing it for ourselves and what the truth is of the matter. If it is something true and strong, we're going to be so stuck in our head, kind of like this entity here. This entity gives me the vibe of a thinker. You know what I mean? Someone who is in their head. But every time I see this card, I also notice like this face, this optical illusion of a face, right? We have the entity here, we have its arm here, and we have its legs down here. But at the same time, we also have here where it looks like eyes, a nose, and a mouth. This would be like the cheek. So what I'm seeing here is that not everything is as it seems. The Three of Wands is about planning. It is about searching in the distance, looking off into the distance, and planning how it is you're gonna get there. Waiting for the ships to arrive. but also planning on what you're going to do when the ships arrive. What are you going to do when you go to the other side? What are you going to do? With tells of the past, present, and future, builds love between friends and enemies. What I'm seeing again is more energy of love, and not just love for a significant other, a romantic partner, but love for friends and family, and trying to better understand the people who are also against us, because it does mention enemies as well. So this is to me saying it is more important to be focused on your stability, focused on the things that are important to you, the people, places, and things that mean the most to you, and to be building upon that love that you have between those things and those people. Like I was saying, with this kind of optical illusion, this face that we see, it makes me think that, again, there's more than meets the eye. We may be wanting to go look off into the distance and plan ahead for how we're going to even get across the ocean. And we're waiting for the ships to sail in so we can get across. But what I'm seeing is now is the time to be planning how to get there, yes, but in a more internal way. In a way of like, have you even thought of how you're going to get to the ships because you're on top of a mountain looking off into the distance? How are you going to get down there in the first place, to even get inside of the ships, to even sail across the ocean in the first place? So what I'm seeing here is it's important to think forwardly. It is important to start making goals and steps for our long-term goals. But what I'm seeing here is there needs to be a focus on the short-term goals first. Because how can you build stability? How can you build a true, strong foundation of anything if you skip the steps necessary in building that foundation? It's not going to work. Like the tower, it will crumble. We need to build upon the foundation. We need to gain the skills necessary in order to even be able to do what it is that we desire, right? So it's like if you want to be a doctor, you can start thinking about what schools to go to and all of this, for example. But it would very much help you if you start learning about, what do doctors learn, and what are the things that I can prepare myself for now that I have some time to do so, versus waiting until I'm there and it's much more difficult to really let all of the information truly be strong in our mind, for it not to be something that's like we'll just forget in a day. There needs to be a foundational work that needs to be placed down. Here with the Ace of Cups and the Five of Pentacles, we have Gammon. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Gammon. Number 4, which is about stability. Teaches all liberal sciences, gives an account of souls that died in sin. And we have a horse. And here, the Ace of Cups, we have Bure. Number 10. teaches philosophy and the uses of herbs, heals all diseases and disorders, brings good familiars. And there's a lot of movement in this card. So for the Ace of Cups and the Five of Cups to be together, what I'm seeing here is really you need to decide for yourself. And by decide for yourself, I mean, we can all be like, well, I already know which one of the two that I want. I mean, it's a no fucking brainer, right? But you need to really decide what you want and actually strive towards healing in order to allow that to come. We are faced here with the Ace of Cups, which is a new emotional offer, but we're also here is the Five of Pentacles, which is about feeling left behind, feeling out in the cold, quite literally. We need to build upon our foundation. We need to know what it is that we desire in order to create the goals that we want, the short-term and the long-term goals, and we need to start taking action towards the things that we love. If you had to choose between the Five of Pentacles energy and the Ace of Cups energy, which energy are you going to choose? I don't know anyone that would say they want to feel left out in the cold and they want to feel like stuck. But the thing about healing and love is that it's not just an expression of an emotion. There's so much more that goes into it. How much do you care about yourself and this person or this career path or whatever it is that there's this love for? Love is not something that is only towards people. We can love our career. We can love our objects and the house that we live in. We can love our car. We can love the things around us that make us feel good and make us feel stable and help us in order to get to where we want to go in our life. We can have love and appreciation for those things. And we should appreciate the things in our life that help bring us closer to our purpose, that help bring us closer to the things that we want in our life. We need to start making the steps necessary. Take the steps necessary, right? A horse is strong. A horse is loyal. A horse is friendly. And here we have a lot of hooves. And I really do have the sense of there's a need to move forward towards your stability. And moving forward towards your stability and figuring out what it is that will help you get there to the stability that you need for whatever it is the next step that you need to take in your life that will bring you to completion. Number 10. The Page of Wands in reverse. Balam. Page of Wands, 51. Gives answers concerning past, present, and future, can make one invisible. The Page of Wands is about it's the first in the royal suit to begin the journey, right? The page wants to give an offer of passion. The page wants to follow their creativity. The page wants to express themselves and communicate. Wands also symbolize spirituality. And it does seem that, you know, a lot of tarot readers and a lot of people who are within the spiritual community, whether they're people who talk about their experiences during their Kundalini awakening, or they're people who practice demonolatry, or they're tarot readers, or whatever the case is, people who are more spiritually inclined are understanding that there's this time of growth, this time where we are currently in, that is really forcing us to go within, forcing us to grow. What this time is doing is really testing each and every single one of us, and testing how hard we want what we want, and how hard we're willing to make that come true. Now is a difficult time because of the virus, right? Quite obviously. And even though this is a reading that has no time, currently that I am posting it, we are still, suffering through COVID. When we are alone, our minds can get so cluttered with the thoughts of the past, the present, and the future. And sometimes we really start to bog ourselves down because we're so focused on what we don't have or what's going wrong in our lives right now, when we need to be focusing on what we do have and what we want in our life. Not just what we want because we don't have it, no, but what we want in a way to make it come true, to go out there and get it for ourselves. The Page of Wands was in reverse though. So what I'm saying is, perhaps you may be struggling to figure out what it is that you're really truly passionate about, that you have absolutely no doubt in your mind that it is what you want to go towards. But here we have we have Strength, the Moon, Temperance. And we also have the Queen of Swords in reverse and the Chariot. Strength. Vine. Number 45. Builds towers or destroys stone walls, causes rough waters, finds witches. What this is making me think back to is here. Excuse me. If you remember how I mentioned about the wall, this card literally says builds towers or destroys stone walls. Literally. So this is bringing me back to the statement earlier about we need to be careful about the walls that we are building around ourselves. This is especially a time where people are feeling so lonely and people are feeling so vulnerable in so many different ways. This is a time where we need to have strength. A time where we need to, again, start building upon the foundational aspect of what it is that we want. Builds towers. And towers are not built in one day. No matter how many people are working on that tower, it's still going to take time. And when you think about it also, the faster something is built, the more likely it is to fall apart and be built wrong. The more likely someone is to forget one single little screw that can fuck it all up. and make that tower come crumbling down. You know what I mean? It's important to realize that things take time, and it's important for things to take time, because that is how you build upon a strong foundation. While things are taking time to build upon, we should be taking the time to build upon ourselves in order to make our foundation stronger. So that way, again, when we're building upon our foundation, we have stability. And it's not something that will just crumble because of a careless kind of building it so quickly. There's more forward motion here, more movement forward. Have the strength to go towards what it is that you desire. Despite the circumstances that are going on right now, now is the time to figure out what you can do right now in order to build upon that foundation. Don't focus on what you cannot do right now. You can make a list of the long-term goals that you have. Make a list of the things that maybe you're not able to get to at the moment, but do not focus on them. Focus on the things that are going to get you to those steps in the first place. Focus on the things that you can do. Focus on the people around you. And let down your walls to some degree. Because again, when we have our walls up, we repel what tries to come towards us, right? There needs to be an understanding of how to guard yourself when necessary, but not allowing yourself to be guarded on the daily. It's okay to be vulnerable. That's okay. It's a strength to be vulnerable. It's not easy. And again, yeah, I literally take strength. This is the strength card. Now over here, with the moon, Beelzebub. Makes manifest the apparitions of demons, sets demons upon men to destroy them with vices. This is very interesting, actually. Just yesterday, I watched this video that JD Temple posted. It was a short video, and he was actually mentioning too, he's one of the people who mentioned, like, you know, these times that we're currently going through. And he mentioned how, because everything that's going on, such strong, difficult times for everyone, a lot of people are either going to have to face what they want and try to do what they can to make it come into fruition, or fall towards vices, drugs and alcohol and all these other things. I mean, there's a plethora of things. It could be literally anything. So what I'm seeing here is to have the patience and the strength to fight the desire to want to cave in and succumb to vices. On his wings here, there are skulls and crossbones. And every time I see that, I think of the death card. Transformation, right? The fly is not born a fly. It transforms into a fly from its larva state, right? It becomes a fly. It is not born a fly. No one is born into a certain position. No one is born being able to perform surgeries and be a doctor. No one's born literally singing and being a famous musician, or no one's. I apologize for the cutoff, but as I was saying, we have purpose. We are born with a purpose, but that does not mean that we are born into the position of already being in our purpose. We have to find it. We have to work towards it, and we have to expand ourselves and grow in order for us to become what it is we are meant to become what it is that we want to become. That is what I'm talking about here. Now with temperance, it is of course saying we need to have the patience, and we have to heal, and we have to work towards our goals and what it is that we want in our life. This is, forgive me if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, Crocel, Temperance, number 49, teaches geometry and liberal sciences, makes great noises and warms water. And this picture here reminds me of an angel. I feel like, your purpose is divinely led. Your purpose is something that you decided before coming onto this earth, before being born. All of us have divine purpose, each and every single person, because it is when we are in our highest state of vibration, when we are not in this meat suit, in this meat sack, so to speak, when we are still just spiritual beings, we decide for ourselves what we want when we come into this life. But it is when becoming a human, coming into humanity, where we have free will, and we forget that we're spiritual beings, and we forget our purpose, and we forget all of these things, because the point of life is to figure it out. The point of life is to learn. I saw 222. The point of life is to learn from our past, not to continue making the same mistakes. We need to be patient with ourselves and our purpose, and when we're building upon the foundation, we need to be patient with ourselves when we're learning how to fight the difficulties in our life. We need to have the strength in order to pursue what it is that we desire, in order to follow our heart and follow our truth. The Queen of Swords in reverse, Andreophilus, office. I'm sure I pronounced that terribly. 65, teaches geometry and measurements, increases one's intelligence, can transform a person into a bird. And here with the Chariot, Andress, 63, sower of discord, slayer of men. With the Queen of Swords in reverse is telling me we need to stop fighting our truth. We need to stop lying to ourselves. And sometimes we don't even realize that we are in our own denial. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're lying to ourselves about something, but we are. That could come in a form of just negative self-talk, which a lot of times when we have negative self-talk, that's the kind of thing that we don't realize all the time, that is really affecting us, affecting our progression, affecting our future and our present. We need to start seeing what's right in front of us for what it truly is. We need to start believing in our intuition. We need to start believing in our truth, in who we really are, and start going towards that. Like the Chariot card, Again, there are cards here about movement, a lot of cards, and more wings, more critters that are being rode on, you know? We need to discover ourselves, know who we are, heal from our past, and build upon our stability for our future. Underneath the deck, we have the Two of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, and the Hierophant in reverse. So really quickly, Amun, number 7, reveals the past and the future, reconciles friends and enemies. Four of Wands, person, 20, knows all things hidden, answers truly about things earthly or divine. And the Hierophant, Orias, number 59, teaches astrology, the virtues of the stars and the houses of the planets, and how to understand them, transforms men with dignities, finds favor with friends and foes. So we have more energy about friends and foes around here, right? So again, we need to find out who we are. We need to go within to discover ourselves and our truth, and we need to build upon the stability in striving towards that. We need to work on our foundation with ourselves and the people around us who want to work with us, instead of being stuck in loopholes in our mind that tell us that we are not good enough or that we are not capable. We need to understand that that's bullshit. We are capable, we are good enough, and we are deserving, and we need to stop lying to ourselves like the Queen of Swords in reverse. We need to stop lying to ourselves. Stop telling ourselves, I'm not good enough, I'll never get there, I can never be this, I can never be that. If that's your mind state, then that is exactly what's going to happen, because that is your mind state, then that is exactly what's going to happen, because at that point, that means that we are perpetuating this negative state where we keep ourselves in Eight of Swords energy, where we are blocking ourselves from progression, when we are keeping ourselves from leveling up and from learning and from really getting to where it is that we need to go, because of fear, because of anything, really. It really does affect us. It really does affect us, and we need to learn how to view things from a different perspective, where you are capable of doing absolutely anything it is that you desire, but you have to believe and trust in yourself, and you have to believe and trust in the skills that you have in order to continue to improve upon those skills in order to get to where you need to go. Everything is possible if you believe it to be possible. And that really is the truth. Because when we believe, we're more likely to make it happen. Whereas when we don't believe, we have given up already before we even started. So there is a deep need to trust and believe in yourself and to work on what it is that you need to work on in order to get to where you need to go. Well, for today, I will end the reading here. Thank you so very much for being here. I truly, deeply appreciate each and every single one of you, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.